have a place there where you can comment below. If it's not, then we have to fix that. But it should be a place you can comment below. Just comment on it and let us know. This is Tech Tuesday, and today we're going to be talking about dryers. Have you thought about sometimes how your light bill may have been going up, and you maybe don't know why? See, some of the reasons is some of the reasons, not all the reasons. Some of it could be your dryer. Anything that pulls heat and elements could have an effect on your light bill or your energy bill. And if you notice that your dryer won't allow you to wash, dry clothes rather, in the same amount of time it used to. You used to notice that your clothes used to dry faster, but now you're saying that now you have to go through 2 or 3 cycles before it dries. That's a dryer issue. That's a dryer issue, and somehow you can sometimes you can tell that by your light bill. Sometimes your light bill will be a little bit higher than what it normally be, and you be like, "What in the world's going on with my light bill? I ain't doing anything different." But if your dryer is not drying properly, yes, it could cause some spike in your light bill. You'll catch a little difference. Some of them is real particular about their light bill, and they make sure that it stays sort of the same as it always stay. But here's the deal. Um, one of the things you can find that will give you an indication that it might be your dryer is that once again you have to constantly run your dryer back through over and over again, especially if you're drying some jeans or you're drying some towels. Have you noticed towels and jeans seem like to be the hardest thing to dry? So if you have those there, and it seems like you're having to run another cycle, run another cycle, run another cycle. Well, here's a few tips that can maybe help you with that situation. One is sort of a no-brainer for those who understand how a dryer works. Basically, a dryer is just like a heater vacuum cleaner that has a heater in it. It pulls air in from the door out through the back. The silver pipe behind your dryer is what they call the van, the exhaust fan, the vent. So that exhaust sometimes can get clogged up, which could cause two things. It can cause hazards. It can cause fires. It can cause your dryer not to heat properly. So the best thing to do if you're experiencing that problem, the first thing I would do is basically disconnect your dryer vent in the back, take it loose, go outside and shake it. Yeah, just dust it out a little bit. Put air through it, or if you don't feel comfortable with it, make sure that you unplug it, because that's one of the things you want to be careful about, because some people just don't like being around anything of power or such that, which is understandable. But once you unplug it, I would ask that you will just take the vents loose, look down in there, make sure nothing is clogging the ventilation going through. Because once your dryer feels like it's having a restriction from breathing or from venting properly, it will cause the elements to go out. That is a safety feature. It'll cause the elements to cycle. That means it'll cut on and off, cut it on and off. Then you'll find yourself not your dryer not drying properly, but it seems like it's taking a lot longer. That's one of the problems there. The other one is going to be a little more technical, and they cause limit switches. Dryers are not it's not rocket science. It's not like you're working on a rocket. It's a simple unit. It's not real bad, and a lot of people prematurely throw away their dryers. They didn't have to. Yeah, a lot of people prematurely throw away their dryers. Didn't have to, because they just felt like, okay, I always had problems with this. It won't dry. It won't do this. It won't. I'm having issues with it. And so, to me, that is one of the simplest appliances to work on. So today we're talking about dryers here on Tech Tuesday, and maybe we'll say something that might help you that's having issues with your dryers or had issues with your dryer, and you're wondering, should I call a technician, especially in this COVID post COVID area. You don't want to invite too many people in like we used to. You know what I'm saying? Things have changed, and a lot of stuff around the house might have went like it, and for as maintenance is concerned. But we're talking about dryers on today, and I'm excited about dryers on today, and I'm excited about any questions you might have relating to dryers. I'll be glad to talk to you today. Again, we won't be on too much longer. We're trying to give you at least 15-20 minute segment, unless y'all just have these questions and I have to answer them for you. So Again, if you're having issues where your dryer is not drying properly, is it's not drying as fast as it used to, one of the things that we want to check again is the ventilation. Make sure that vent pipe is not clogged up, because what happens is the cotton and the lint that comes from your clothes, it goes out of that area, because once again, it pulls in from one area and goes out the next. The first thing is, another thing is, I know you all do this, your lint trap. Every time you get ready to try, pull your lint trap out. That's the little thing that looks like a net. Either it sits in the door or it sits on the top of your dryer. And some of you probably have already experienced that. Pull that out, make sure it's clean every time you get ready to dry. Why? Because it will prevent your clothes from drying properly, and it cause your dryer to run and cycle more, which in turn might cause your light bill to go up a little more. You got to have a dryer, right? You got to be able to dry. Again, one of the other issues could be a little bit more technical. You might have to call a technician like myself or someone else, and that would be your limit switches in the back. Sometimes your limit switches do go out. There's two types of limit switches there. There's one that breaks a little early and one that breaks a little less. Yes, that's what it is. Your lint, check your lint trap. That's exactly what it is. That's what they call it, a lint trap. So all things, this is what we're talking about. That's right, all things dry. So again, a lot of people want to know why their light bill might be raising up, why their light bill going out a little higher, but you also notice that you're having to dry your clothes a little longer than what they normally used to have to dry, and that's one of the things. Another quick fix that might be your issue. Sometimes your dryer can get pushed too close to the wall and could actually bend your vent pipe. Make sure your vent pipe is not bent. Make sure it has a free course of blowing out the air from the expelling the air from the back. Because if it's not, again, those limit switches are designed to break out when it find out something ain't right. When it feels that pressure, when it feels like that air is not going out properly, it would actually shut down, and then you're thinking you're drying clothes, and actually your elements will be cycling off and on, and it won't get as hot as it's supposed to get. One of the things too that you might experience when you're having a dryer, especially you dryer owners, I love dryers. I think they're the easiest thing to work on. To me, I would love to work on a dryer before I work on anything. But squeaky sounds, and they're getting louder and louder and louder. Sometimes you get on your dryer and you hear this squeaking noise, squeaking noise, and then eventually it gets to the point where it's almost unbearable. Those are bearings. Those are certain bearings in your that runs your drum. And when you hear those squeaking sounds, that's an indication that you need to change the bearings, not to keep running it. You say, well, the more I run it, maybe the squeaking will stop. You know how we do sometimes. But so if you're having this issue where you're hearing squeaking all the time, every time you dry or every time you put in a heavy load, you hear the squeaking. That's a good indication that the bearings might be changed. Here's the thing: if you do not change those bearings, if you don't have them serviced, there's a possibility you will actually break your drum, your drum shaft. You would actually sever off. And then, of course, when you do that, you have to call a technician, and then we'll be glad to come there and replace it for you. So, so that's true. I blew mine up. Okay. So, so that's a possibility. I haven't seen one blow up yet, but I think I understand what you're saying. You ran it crazy. But dryers are, again, is I would caution anybody. They're really inexpensive to fix. I would caution anybody, just don't toss out your dryer, because a dryer is a real inexpensive thing to fix. When you hear a squeaking sound, of course, that's again the drums. And now, guess what? If you find yourself looking in your dryer and it's heated up there, but you don't feel it, the drum actually turning, that could be possibly a belt, or it could have come off of the actual roller itself. So these things again are inexpensive fixes, but it's not warranted to throw out a whole dryer. I know some of the wives be like, "Oh man, I don't know, why would you say that?" And especially my husband listen to this, he don't want to buy a new wood dryer, and I want a new dryer. But the thing about it is, with dryers, they are very inexpensive to fix. So I would want to say, hey, get a service man that you trust, that you know, and have them come out and fix that thing. Are the new fancier dryers any better than the plain Jane ones? To be honest with you, no. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of feedback out of that. Everybody, some people, it's according to your personality. Some people like new stuff. They like technology. They like the new, but I'm telling you, the old school, turn it on, got a timer there, you got a push button, loaded in the front. It's just as good as the ones you have these fancier ones now that does all kind of songs and dances, and they play a tune too. Now I like the tune they play sometimes, but they all play tunes and they real nice. But to be honest with you, a dryer is a dryer. The same mechanisms are in one as is in the other one. They can't change them too much because this fact that the way they're built, basically built, they're built the same. They do the same thing. They have the same type of ailments. They have the same type of heating capabilities. So the same concept of pulling air in, pushing air out is going to always be in the dryer makeup. So whether you get a new one with all this fancy stuff, or whether you get a plain, or what they call it, like you just said, a plain Jane one, it doesn't matter. But the thing about it is we have different things that always happen in dryers. So people a lot of times think, okay, because it's happening, I got to get rid of the dryer. Not necessarily. Have you noticed sometimes whenever if somebody ever noticed this, that your dryer won't come on even when the door closed? And even when the door closed, sometimes you can close your door and you say, well, I pushed the button and it didn't come on. There's a safety switch. There's what they call a door switch there. Sometimes that door switch can go out. Again, another inexpensive fix for a dryer to work. And a lot of people toss it out because, hey, it just went out on me and I'm tired of it. But yeah, I recommend that any brand other than over the other one. I have my own preferences. I hate to dropping names out here. You might have to inbox me on that one. Because I start dropping names, I might get a sponsor from that other one, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to mess that up. So, so anyway, but I do have several preferences. Old school, that which you don't see a whole lot of, but my dad pretty much swear by GE products. He loved GE products. That's your hot points, GEs, and some of that in that brand in that area. He loved them. I don't know if he loved them because he just learned how to work on them a lot better than he loved to work on them. But anyway, but no, I have a certain preference, certain brands that I do like, and it's according to how high tech and how innovative you want to, how high tech you want to get into dryers and what type of dryers, because now everything has got everything on. You got Bluetooth, you got automatic. I mean, it's just all kind of things that's going on with these new appliances these days, but they basically have the same concept. Another thing that you might notice on your dryers, if you smell something burning, burning is a bad indication. There could be two things. It could be a bad connection, or it could be something that got trapped up around your lint, around your elements in your dryer. Either or, you don't want to just keep running until the smell stops. It, please don't do that. There's many fires has gotten started by lint and also by bad connection. Your dryer is 240 volt unit. It runs off a extremely high power in your house, one of the largest voltage in your house. It runs off of that. So it is something in likened to a hot water heater or your stove. It pulls power constantly. So you want to make sure they at the uh, optimum maintenance. You want to make sure that you have it at the optimum condition. That's right. You want to make sure they're in that best condition you can ever have. So why? Because you want to make sure that you're not running into using up energy that you shouldn't have to use up. Because that's a big thing. A lot of people say, hey, my light bill's going up because of this. I can't find out what's going on. I ain't doing nothing different than I used to do. Most of the time, those type of appliances would do that. Hot water heaters would do it as well. Stoves would do it as well. So any of these units here will cause your light bill to jump up out of nowhere. And when I say that, I mean it can jump up anywhere between 20 to 30% higher. So these are things you want to keep an eye on. And nobody know or think about maintaining the dryer because it's just a dryer. But the dryers are necessary to be maintenance. Why? Because that's one of your bigger power pullers in your house. So again, high light bill could be one indication. Stop drying could be another indication. Another thing that stops from drying, it could be definitely